There's a big reason that there's thousands of creators that are failing to scale their coaching business, failing to actually grow and generate revenue, while there is people with a few thousand followers, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 followers that are absolutely lapping these guys and making 30, 40, 50, even $100,000 a month while the other guys are just stuck. And a perfect example of this is here on the screen right now. These guys are all making over $100,000 a month. Let me tell you that. But if we look closely at their view count, we're going to see a big similarity here. 5.4 thousand views, 1,000 views, 1.9 thousand views, 869 views, and 1.9 thousand views. What the fuck is the big similarity is that all these guys have their views in like the 1,000 range. Yet they're making $100,000 a month. And either you, somebody watching this video, is either thinking that your personal brand needs to have millions of followers to be able to make so much fucking money with info, because that's what you hear every single day and that's what you're made to believe because of so much scrolling and so much screen time spent in that industry, that you're only seeing people telling you to build a personal brand and actually scale that, when that's not the case, when the proof is right here, right? And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which metrics that you have to track to be able to scale systematically, stop guessing, and actually start scaling with validity in the back of your head. Because the reason why so many coaches fail, and you watching this video, whether you're either starting out, you're building an info coaching business already, or you're stuck and looking to scale, is because you're chasing the wrong metrics. Followers, engagements, retention, those things are important. Yes, they are good advice, don't get me wrong, but in this case, it's bullshit right now. Because what you have to focus is on your positioning. And that's so important within the info coaching business, and not enough people are talking about it. In fact, I don't think anybody's talking about it. Right? And the crazy part is, and you're going to understand what I'm talking about. Like I said, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which metrics that you need for this. The craziest part, which I'm going to show you guys, is there can be two creators. Apologize for my circles. But there can be two creators, and one can be making $100,000 a month, MRR, monthly recurring revenue, and the other guy can be making $10,000 in MRR, let's say, or $0, or $0, right? And now they can be in the same niche. They might think that they want the same ICP, right? And they are posting the same content, the same quality. They know in the same amount of information. They even have a similar offer. But one is making more money than the other one. Now, why is that? Now, I want you to think back to what I was saying. The difference isn't any of these things. It's actually what they're measuring within their content and their positioning. Because the only reason, if all these things are the same, the only reason that the one guy is going to be making $10,000 a month or making $0 is because he's optimizing for virality. He's trying to be the next Mr. Beast, right? And the other one is optimizing for buyer psychology. Now, what does that mean? And why is that single difference so important? Well, because that is the reason why so many launches fail, despite assuming that every single other thing is right. Now, I'll give you guys a perfect example. Think about fitness influencers, because these, or this niche, is perfect for giving these examples within the info space. There can be one fitness influencer who, let's just say, has 200,000 followers, 300,000 followers. And he's posting content for the general public, giving you tips on and advice on how to properly exercise, how to have the proper form and whatnot. Basically dropping videos that are going to have a lot of views, don't get me wrong, because that's what gets people hooked, right? They see that video and they watch it. And if you look at fitness, the fitness niche, that is the shit that pulls views. But what sort of content is that? That's so top of funnel. And if you guys want to understand more about content, you can go ahead and watch my other videos. But that is so top of funnel, so based for engagement, and you can see how it's for the general public. Where is the target audience there? This person A, fitness influencer A, will have an idea in the back of their head that their ICP are rich business owners. Because what we were talking about here is selling between 2 or even 3 up to 5K plus coaching consulting offers. Coaching consulting offers. Now, if this person A wants people to pay him that amount, then he's not going to want young teens who are broke or just broke people in general to pay him. But yet that's the content he's making. And now let's take a look at person B. Same niche, fitness influencing. And let's give this guy 50,000 followers. Or 100, whatever. It doesn't matter. But just let's lower amount than the other guy. Now, he might not be getting as many views. And obviously not have as bigger reach. But his positioning would be different to that of person A's. Because let's imagine that this person is now talking about some sophisticated fitness terms. He's actually using science to explain why X, Y, and Z happens when you're doing an exercise or when you're lifting. Now, you see how person B already has the validity because he's able to show proof of the way that he's talking and have that positioning of using science to explain fitness and not just yapping out of his ass, but actually having that expertise, which is important, which is what I preach in the videos. Expertise, if you have that and you're able to drive transformation, that is what is important. So if that guy has all of that expertise and he's valid to talk about this shit, he's going to attract the rich business owners who are going to be able to pay him this amount of fucking money. Because now he's talking directly to them. He's speaking in their language. When somebody sees that content, they're going to be like, okay, this guy knows his fucking shit. He's not just talking to everybody, talking about how to do push-ups or whatever. Right? And they're in the same niche. One is making $10,000 a month for zero. One is making $100,000 a month. And that is exactly what you're going to understand in this video. And now, how do I actually know this? Well, if we take a look over here, one of our clients, 150,000 subscribers. Now, when you see this firsthand, you'd probably think, okay, this guy is fucking printing millions of dollars online. Which we thought as well when we were coming into the business and the operation. And now what we did wrong, and what we understood later on, what we did wrong is when we came into the operation, we launched a $50 low ticket product, $50 a month low ticket product. Now, how many people out of those 150,000 subscribers on YouTube, mind you, with long form videos, I'm not talking about short form content here, and I'm not talking about the other platforms, which collectively would be added up to like 300,000 followers or whatever, even more. Now, how many people out of these 150,000 subscribers do you think actually bought in and paid per month for this community? 40 people. Which equates to $2,000 a month. $2,000 monthly recurring revenue from a $50 a month low ticket community with an audience this big. And now, yes, I can sit here and say that we fucked up, but the reason that we did is to give you guys an example of what every single one of you watching is probably doing. You're seeing people online talking about building personal brands and whatnot, and you're trying to do that, whether you're thinking about it in the back of your head because you have a skill and you're trying to do it, whether you're doing it right now but nothing seems to be working, or you're hitting a ceiling and you're looking to scale. We obviously weren't thinking about building any personal brands when we were working with this creator. He already had the personal brand. But what we saw another operator working with a clothing brand owner. Now, some of you watching this video may even know him, Capri. Big audience, pretty similar to our client over here. And what they did was they launched an $100 a month low ticket community. So pretty similar to us. Right? Now, how many people did they have in their low ticket community? I'm pretty sure they had like 1,000 people at the time, at the peak. And this was like a year and a half ago. If we do the math, that's $100,000 in MRR. Right? And so we saw that and we were like, we have to implement this for our client. And yes, this was a year and a half ago, so we were still inexperienced and we saw shit and we were like, fuck it, let's run it, let's just try it out. And that's where we fucked up. Because we didn't realize that our client over here was completely different to Capri, to the clothing brand owner. And yes, they're in the different niches, but that's not what's important here. The niche doesn't matter. Number one lesson and number one fucking fact for you guys is the niche does not matter. Any niche will make money as long as you have everything else to the T, right? What we didn't realize is that our creator here did not, and I'm going to write this down because it's fucking important, even if the writing is not the best, but he built the audience first. Without validating. Now, if you guys have watched any of my other videos, I always talk about validating first and then building the audience. And he did the opposite. He flipped the script. He was optimizing for views, for engagements, for attention, for followers, for reach, all of that sort of stuff. And he was good at it. Don't get me wrong, he was good at it. He was good at storytelling. He cracked the code for content. And the result was there. Just not the audience that he was looking for to be able to sell even a low ticket community. Right? The only problem that he was solving was providing good content and entertainment for his audience. His audience didn't have a problem in their head that they would pay to solve. Right? Which meant that there was no buyer psychology. There was no data of the buyer psychology because he also never sold a one-on-one, which again, you guys can go and watch my other videos where I talk about it more in depth and how important that is. But once we took that knowledge and actually realized, okay, we cannot just be looking at other people and doing what they're doing and trying it out. We thought about it, validated the offer, actually utilized his big audience, because even within his big audience, we were able to find people that would pay him $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for coaching consulting. And I made a video on posting on that as well, how we actually were able to target that 1% of people. And here, the results show. $10,000 on the dashboard, $2,000 payment coming in, $1,000 payment coming in, $7,500 gross volume. It was right there. Now, if any of you guys watching this video are thinking about starting an info coaching business, which you should, if you have a skill, any sort of skill in any different niche, because the niche does not matter. If you're thinking about starting an info coaching business, if you're already running an info coaching business, if you're stuck and you're looking to scale whatever it may be, this is what we call expertise arbitrage. Validating your offer first and building everything later. Making money within your first week. Optimizing everything. There's a booking link down below where you can book a call. We'll map out your entire expertise arbitrage plan. Have a talk. See what's going wrong. You guys can book a call right now. If that's something that seems valid. And we can go from there. But here's the cool part. After this client here, obviously we didn't go again and fuck up other shit for our other clients because that would be stupid. This game developer, what did we do? We started working with him, and within his first week, he landed his first, let's see right here, $3,000 deal with no personal brand whatsoever. No personal brand. And again, the niche does not matter here. This guy has no personal brand. Our client over here has over 300,000 followers collectively across all the social media accounts. But what's important is that we sold the offer one-on-one first for his coaching and consulting. Right? And then once you close 2 to 3 to even 5 clients, you have data which you can then use to build your content, because you then understand your buyer psychology, you understand their limiting beliefs, you understand their goals and desires, you understand their pain points, you understand all the problems that they're facing. And that becomes your content, because the sales and the content work hand in hand, and when you work them together, that's when you grow. And here's exactly what proves it, because once we were able to sell and deliver the result and understand what was going in the buyer's head with his clients, 12,000 views on a video, on a channel, which was dead pretty much. He had a couple of posts here and there, nothing related to the niche or nothing related to the consulting that we were talking about now and actually dropping value on game developing. That's the result. With an incredible retention graph for a 10-minute video purely for knowledge. What did that do? Drive a bunch of fucking other leads into the Discord. Collectively worth $40,000, $50,000. Which I will drop a video later on about that, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Leave a comment, like, whatever. Do all that shit. If you have any questions that you do want to ask me, I'll pop up my Instagram. You can send me a message. I've been answering some questions actually in comments and DMs. So you can go ahead and do that. But, guys, first video. Or, sorry, not first video, but like 4th video on the channel. Talking about game developing. 12,000 views. Retention through the roof. And it was only because we were able to actually validate first. Because at the end of the day, most people don't know how to build a personal brand. Right? If you're going to start building a personal brand, you're either going to be stuck at 0. A big fat fucking 0. Or if you actually understand content and whatever, engagement, retention, all of that sort of stuff, you're going to end up being a mini Mr. Beast like our client over here, who just entertains their viewers, right? Especially when starting out with content. Because having a big personal brand does not mean shit if your targeting and positioning is not the way it should be, right? Optimizing for these vanity metrics is ridiculous and makes the biggest difference within an info coaching consulting business. Right. Now there's more. This guy right here, he was posting content when we came into the business. Was probably sitting at around 7,000 subscribers. Wasn't really selling high ticket or to the full potential that he thought he could. And we told him, yo, start selling or we will start selling your offer at 6K. Right? 6K or something like that. And the payments were coming in. Payment plans, PIFs, they were coming in fucking left, right, and center because he already had the audience. So we knew that we could capitalize off of the audience because we did the same thing over here, right? We capitalized on the audience. We were able to still sell his low ticket that he had at the time and then take all the information that we got from the sales calls, learned the problems of his ICP, made content about it, and again, you can see the results there. Ignore this fucking dumb shit because it's demonetized views or some videos are monetized somewhere. You can see the growth. And it wasn't random or something we were hoping for every single day. It was something that we actually understood and knew was going to get traction because the videos we were making directly for the people that needed the videos. Right? And now don't get me wrong, I understand why this happens. It's because, and why most creators are optimizing for these wrong metrics. Because that's the mainstream advice. And I talk about this in the previous video. You have people like Iman, people like Alex Ramosi talking about how to build a magnetic personal brand, my actual social media strategy for 2026. And again, don't get me wrong, it's good advice. But building an audience and then creating a course and then launching it is the most stupid thing that you could do. Because you're building an audience around people that you don't know are even going to buy your shit. You're working away rather than working towards your goal. You're chasing views, likes, comments, followers, shares, saves. And those things mean nothing when you don't have conversion directly towards your revenue. Right? And making content that you think is going to make you go viral is the stupidest thing that you could do. Because again, how do you know that it's going to convert into buyers? How do you know what the buyers even want from you when you never even sold? Right? You have to sell first. Because what's going to end up is you're going to end up with an audience that loves free content, watches you for your entertainment. You're not going to have your ICP because you're building your ecosystem around that entertainment. And you're not solving any problems or actually providing solutions for problems that they would pay to fix. The only thing that and this is what's funny, that these guys teach you is to optimize for the algorithm rather than for revenue. But obviously these guys are printing from you guys because they understand what they're doing. Now, again, all of this that I cover in this video, if you guys don't understand, the most important thing is making sure that your sales and content work hand in hand. Sell your expertise one-on-one first to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 people at 2 to 5 to even more $1,000. Document the results. Record the testimonials. Deliver the transformation and document the transformation story. You have content right there. And it may not be the most nicest looking Netflix movie documentary content, unless you obviously have the knowledge to do something like that, then fair be. But it may not be the nicest piece of content, but at the end of the day, posting content that gives value is the thing that's gonna beat 99% of the competitors, because you're actually the one sitting there and using language from the sales call, driving into the content marketing and being able to speak directly to your ICP and not talk to the wall or talk to somebody else, because you're tracking things that matter now, not the views and the comments and the likes and whatever. And once you have those 2 to 3 people, then you can start scaling content. Because guess what? You have testimonials, you have case studies. You know that your offer works. And you can even validate it a little bit more once you're actually running the content. Because that becomes your whole ecosystem now. Because before, what these guys are teaching you to do is to guess and hope. When what you can actually do is build and convert, because you already know that it works, because you've done it. And that's what's going to separate you from the 99%. The info industry is only going to keep growing. If you still haven't started selling a coaching consulting offer, start right now. Again, I go over way more in my other videos, so you guys can go ahead and watch those. But start right now. If you're somebody that's stuck and looking to scale, whether that be you have a personal brand or you don't have a personal brand, shoot me a DM on my Instagram. Book a call with me down below with me and my business partner. We'll map out your entire expertise arbitrage roadmap, dive into your business, see what's going on, see your problem, and show you how we can help you. Make sure that you can actually start seeing results this week alone. Start selling your offer this week alone if you're somebody that has the expertise to do so. And on that note, that's the end for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, if you guys are new here, subscribe, like and comment. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, I hope to see you on the call. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.